Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we are going to be playing our very first Alchemy Aetherdrift draft. It's just an Aetherdrift Premier draft, but one card out of every single pack has been swapped out for a potential Alchemy Uncommon or Rare, some of the new stuff that they create for exclusively Magic Arena with a bunch of weird, wacky mechanics and stuff. Just an interesting way to mix up the format just a little bit for a week or two every season. So without further ado, let's just get into the pack one, pick one, and when in these Alchemy drafts, I'd love to play with the new cards that we haven't gotten to see before, like Turbocharged Escape here. It's going to be a board wipe that destroys all non-vehicle creatures, and then it perpetually crews one of your vehicles, just makes it a permanent artifact creature. So it seems like a pretty good board wipe for the white decks. White is the weakest color in the format, so if I were just trying to win, we could take like Thrill Roller here, or like Grim Bauble for a great cheap removal spell. But I am not trying to win. I'm trying to play with some cool new stuff while we still can, especially because there's a lot of competitive events going on. We had the Arena Open last weekend, the Arena Direct starting tomorrow, so there's not going to be a whole lot of time to play with these cards for the daily videos this time around. So pick number 2, we have a Wish Good Luck. This seems like a solid card. 2 mana for a 3/2 vehicle, a food, and a treasure token. You do have to crew the creature because it is a vehicle and not an actual creature, but that's still a lot of tokens for just 2 mana. The issue is that it's a double off-color card. We'd have to go full Naya, red, white, and green for that. I think I'd rather just take a mono-colored card here, like a Sundial to stick to mono-white for now. Or if we want to stay open and just take a strong removal spell, we can take like Outpace Oblivion, and then if white gets cut, we've already got one good removal spell towards red instead. We could also take Sky Serpent Seeker. Green-blue is one of the strongest archetypes in the format. This is probably the strongest card if you're just trying to win. But I'll just go for Outpace Oblivion here. Pick 3, Lumbering World Wagon. I was gonna try to do something cool and unique and ignore the best strategies in the format and play some cool alchemy cards, but when I get past one of the strongest rares in the entire format, in the strongest color in the entire format, that's gonna pretty quickly snap me back to reality there. I mean, there's literally no excuse to take anything else in this pack. So World Wagon it is. I suppose that does play well with our Turbocharged Escape. It is a vehicle that we can perpetually crew, so we could be heading towards a green-white deck. It also fixes towards a potentially splashing red or something like that. Could be interesting, but now we are going to get back to the tried and true, pretty boring draft green every draft that the format sort of supports. Grab Elvish Refueler here, grab Run Over here. The Alchemy cards are all gone already, so just get towards green-white. There's an alchemy card, Bailout. Not the most exciting one. I doubt you're going to be able to manufacture a board state where you can really overload this and get multiple people or multiple creatures to come back at once. I suppose you could get like a solid double block, but 4 mana is a lot to hold up for that, so I feel like usually this plays about the same as any of the other 1 black mana return a creature that died this turn right back kind of cards, and those are always just fine, so definitely not a reason to hop off what we're doing right now. Pick 7, yeah, green is just more than open enough. You can take Defend the Rider or Venom Sac Lagak. The argument towards Lagak here is that Selesnya does like mounts quite a bit. For cards like Run Over, that plays really well. It's also our first 2 mana creature, and we do want to have some of those on curve. Yeah, I'll take it over Defend the Rider. I do think that's a good way to protect your big scary rares and stuff, though. Pick 8, Scurryfoot. Jeez. There's a Motivated Muralist, but I don't think this card is particularly good in draft. You want to have like a ton of artifacts on the board to be able to improvise a really high mana value non-artifact spell later. It's just not really a great home for it. I guess the idea is to play it in like Boros vehicles, but you want to attack with the vehicles, not tap the vehicles to cast something else. This just really seems like a constructed plant, and I think a lot of the alchemy cards do end up looking that way. Pick 9 Lynx is awesome. This was one of the strongest cards in this pack in the first place, so looks like white is pretty open. Jesus, pick 10 Sky Serpent Seeker. So everything is open. No one's in any archetype in this draft pod, actually. Pick 11, Broken Wings. We can main deck it in a pinch if we really don't make playables, but I'd rather end up in a spot where I don't have to, and so far it really looks like we will. I mean, this draft has gone insanely well in terms of just trying to win. Again, I mean, I started just taking the cool alchemy card, but the strong stuff is so open in this pod that we're just doing that here. So here's our creature curve. Here's our non-creature spells. Lumbering World Wagon sort of counts towards the creature curve, but Crew 4 is a whole lot. Alright, pack 2, pick 1. Oh, I was going to say, where's the alchemy card? Goblin Crash Pilot. That's a pretty fun build around. We're far enough in the draft, though, that we're pretty far away from that. I think the idea on this is that you could crew like those 6/3 menace vehicles with it. Get in for 6, sack the vehicle, shoot your opponent for another 6. That's like a 12 damage swing out of nowhere. It's pretty fun. Pretty fun. I guess the 6/3 menace vehicle, though, is also it's a crew 3 card, so you need something else on the board to help the Crash Pilot crew it. So again, not the perfect synergy with that, but I think something like that would be what you're trying to do. Take another run over here. We could also just take the Otark Mammoth. We have like nothing at the top end of our curve right now. So I'm going to take the Mammoth over the run over. I think white has some pretty great removal with the exile removal spell in this format, so I'm going to hope we can pass up on removal just a tiny bit to make sure we have some great top end as well in this deck. And this is a particularly good one because, again, it has that mount card type if we find the cards that care about that. Here's another Night Market or a Path Cruiser if we want to be able to splash the red in here for the Outpace, or maybe splash blue for the Seeker or something. Have those options open if we open up a really good card to splash as well. Yeah, I like just taking a piece of fixing here. Pothole Mole also quite good, but I'll go Path Cruiser. Pick 3, another Bailout. Seems kind of medium. Pretty weak pack for us. I think Broodheart Engine's probably the strongest card, and it's not a super strong splash. Just grab another Bestow Greatness. Ooh. What are you? Well, freaky ooze thing. Fuel Tank Feaster. 1 and a green for a 1/3. At the beginning of your first main phase, a random creature card with the greatest mana value among cards in your hand perpetually gains. It costs 1 less to cast, and it taps for mana of any color. So it's like mega ramp. Makes your most expensive creature cheaper and helps tap for it. God, we would run a sick green-blue deck with another Sky Serpent Seeker. But this card seems really good, actually, like genuinely. Ooh, and we got a green-white alchemy. Let's go. Okay, we're still going to play with a bunch of cool stuff that we've never seen before, so this will be a fun one. Equip creatures +X+X, where X is this equipment's intensity. Whenever a creature enters, this equipment intensifies by X, where X is that creature's power? Okay. Monumentally mega-sized equipment, I suppose. Really bad draw late in the game, but super strong in like your opening hand if you cast it out early. I like the Unswerving Sloth. Looks good to me. And I want some more random beef to go with our Fuel Tank Feaster, as well as just having some more at the top end of the curve. Here's a Plow Through to up the removal a little bit. Just a Pothole Mole. Just rare draft for some gems. Another Night Market, sure. Got a pretty insane mana fixing package if we need to do that, but I think the rate this draft's going, we're just going to have more than enough power just in our main 2 colors to just not really use this whole splash package we've got going. Yeah, Broadcast Rambler's fine. Higher up on the curve. I don't love either of these. Just to go Glider just for the curve. Alright, pack 3, pick 1. We have Great Fang Chroniclers. This card's probably good even if it's the only vanilla creature in your deck, right? Vanilla just means a creature with no abilities. So it's a 2-mana 2/2. You attack in, you draw another 2-mana 2/2, and both of those have an activated ability, basically an exhaust ability for 4 mana to put 2 +1/+1 counters on itself. Yeah. That's really good. I will absolutely take that. That would be like, just by itself, that's essentially what it is, right? A 2/2 that draws another 2/2, and both of those 2/2s have a 4 mana put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature exhaust ability. Very, very solid. You do have to activate it at sorcery speed rather than instant speed like you can with exhaust, but there's added benefits where if they manage to both stick around, then they are giving each other +2/+2, so you could give +4/+4 actually. And then of course there's also the benefit of if we do get some of the gibberick things or whatever, the other creatures with no abilities, those will be getting buffed as well. This does buff our tokens. We do have tokens to buff. We've got elephants, basically. As well as... okay, the servo doesn't count. Servo has flying. But the elephants will count. That's pretty cool. There's nothing great here. Pack 3, pick 2. Pretty cool alchemy rare, but completely off color. So we'll just be going for a nesting bot here. And if nothing else, that'll just very easily replace the Brightfield Glider, and it gives us another creature with no abilities because we have the 1/1 servo. Once this dies, that would also get buffed by the petroglyphs. Pick 3, I'm quite tempted to take Sundial. Sundial's super fun with the Great Fang Chroniclers, but any other time, anytime when we haven't drawn the Chroniclers, it's just going to be so much stronger to just have splashed in a Seed of Arma. Super strong card, and you only need a single blue mana to do it all. We have double Night Market, Velo Heartbike, and Path Cruiser. We can run one island in this deck and get a lot more bomb power by splashing her in, so there we go. Looks like we are indeed splashing something. Pick 4, another Glory Heath Lynx is pretty ridiculous. It's just a super great stat line for its mana cost. Pick 5, another Stampeding Scurryfoot looks awesome for this deck. That elephant with no abilities, plus fitting into 2 spots on our curve is nice. Pick 6 looks like poop-a-doop. Dredger's Insight, probably okay. We don't really have any self-mill synergy, but it still digs towards our bomb power, which we definitely have. So just digging to a World Wagon or a Cedar or something is kind of cute. It's the only card we might play, but I'm tempted really to just take 20 gems here and take Quag Feast. Alright, well... oh, never mind. I was going to say I wish I did because there's another Insight here and I don't really want to run 2 of them. But there's an Omnivore as well, so there we go. There's a creature with no abilities, run that over the little Start Your Engine Sarcophagus. Pick 8, nothing we're going to play here. Just take a random on-color uncommon. Pick 9, I could play Beast Rider Vanguard. My 2-drop slot's getting really full, but this card's really nice as a mana sink in the late game. I do enjoy it. Pick 10, nothing. Rare Draft, an on-color uncommon. Pick 11, nothing I'll play. Pick 12, nothing I'll play. I guess a starting column if we really don't think the fixing's good enough, but I really do. I think it's more than good enough right now. So I need to cut a couple cards still. I've got a lot of non-creatures in here. I might have to just cut the combat tricks. I have double Glory Heath Lynx. Glory Heath Lynx is the kind of card that makes the +4/+4 trample trick a little bit better. So there is that to consider. Because buffing a lifelinker with that is kind of absurd. Makes it really hard for your opponent to outrace you, if not impossible. So that does make it go up in value, but that also makes our amulet a lot better, and I just have so many non-creature spells right now. I guess Rambler's in the creature curve as well. Since that one at least crews itself. Yeah, I just don't think that I have room, even though it is cute. Now we gotta cut some of the early plays, ideally. I mean, Lagak is a solid card in general, but I do like all of our other 2-drops a little bit better. We have the Splinter Twin combo, Elvish Refueler and Stampeding Scurryfoot. It's not a literal instant kill, but it's really good if they can't disrupt it. You get to keep making a 3/3 elephant every single turn, no matter what you draw, because you keep re-exhausting Scurryfoot. That's pretty sick. Fixing feels really, really good. It might be so good we could just not run the bike, honestly. I have 2 Night Market, Island, Fuel Tank Feaster, World Wagon, Path Cruiser, even without the bike. I'm going to do it. There's a single blue card, and it's a really powerful play, even really late in the game, so I don't need to worry about drawing the blue early or anything. We're casting Sita to just exhaust her at a really late turn anyway. Yeah. Deck looks fun, deck looks powerful, it's got some really cute things that can happen. We could board wipe and make a Path Cruiser just a 6/5 forever. If we're super lucky, or board wipe and make a World Wagon, just perpetually crude as well. Some pretty gross stuff the deck could accomplish, but we'll see if it all lines up well for us as we hop into the gameplay and see how it does. Alright, here we are for game 1. This hand is strange. Our deck has a generally pretty aggressive curve. We have tons of 2-drops and stuff, so usually I think we're like curving out trying to be the aggro. But this hand with a board wipe in it and a very low creature count, I think we're actually just going to sit here, hope our opponent plays aggressively into the board wipe, and then try to take over a long game afterwards. So we're just running out a bunch of solid non-creature spells to get us started. The Night Market is the white source if we need it. I think I'm going to Insight over Amulet. Land, Mole, and Feaster. No white source, so I do need to Night Market, most likely. I don't love either of these. Basically, either of these cards is just going to be more mana for me. Alright, Rakdos from our opponents. Some Rakdos Start Your Engines aggro. Should be a decent matchup for the turbocharged escape. Okay, no creatures drawn, nothing super relevant drawn. We just play an Amulet, play the white source, and pass. I guess if nothing else, Feaster's like the guaranteed blue source in case we hit Sita. Oh, they played a mana rock instead of a creature. Bummer. Want them to run more creatures onto the board. Give them one more turn to do it. Oh, there's the World Wagon for blue. And it doesn't even look suspicious that I'm not playing creatures, because I can't afford the other creatures in my hand. Mutant Surveyor, let's go. They're going to be at max speed so they can draw the card off Surveyor, but they're going to be out of cards in hand. So they can draw a card from Surveyor in the grave, and they can draw 2, discard 1 with starting columns. So they're not going to be completely out of this game, but this still looks really good. We get a crude World Wagon just automatically as well, which is pretty gross. We just game 1 accomplished the turbocharged escape World Wagon combo. Kind of brutal. A World Wagon you don't even have to crew is kind of insane. Alright, they're doing some digging. Draw 2, discard 1. Dynamite Diver, just a 1/1 chumper. Might as well gain a million bajillion here. Then they're just going to concede there. So we are going to gain so much life this turn because we target the World Wagon. It gains lifelink for this turn. The Amulet gets +2/+2. We play the links. The Amulet is now +4/+4. We then equip the Amulet to the World Wagon. That's 12 plus the World Wagon tutors out of land. That's 13. Literally lethal if they don't block, and we gain 13 even if they do. Absolutely disgusting stuff. The perpetually crude Brood Wagon, or World Wagon from the turbocharged escape. Nasty stuff to get us started 1-0 heading into game 2. Alright, here we are for game 2. Looks like a monocolored hand, but we have a Path Cruiser to grab whatever color we need, so probably blue for Sita, but if we draw some good white spells early, we'll grab that instead. I'm going to lead with the Great Fang Chroniclers, so we have a chance of getting that double team attack in. The later in the game that we run this out, the less likely it is to be able to attack. Because the more likely they are to have a bunch more creatures out. Stop it from getting that trigger. Sure. Removal spell it is fine. Now we can grab... I mean, any land is good here. So I am tempted to just go for the Pothole Mole so I can get a land and still get a creature onto this board. Alright, the white source it is, but that is super fine. Means we get to play the Lynx next turn. Lynx plus Omnivore. Terrors of the Track. This card's a really good double teamer. So if we draw any removal, we would slam that thing away immediately. But we didn't draw removal, so it is going to be the 2-for-1. They get to cast 2 copies of that. So whenever a creature dies, they drain us for 1 and they gain life. That only triggers once per turn, but still really good when you have 2 copies of that thing on the board for the double trigger. Plus just a 2-mana 2/1 flyer is pretty great. I got the Road Rage too for the Omnivore here. Yep. Sure. Spin out the Lynx so that they can actually try to win the race here. There's a plow through to kill the first terrors. Such a bummer to draw that exactly 1 turn too late to really matter here. Just kill 1 terrors of the track. If you can kill a creature before it double teams, you basically should always do that, as our opponent did this game. Well, they don't have another removal spell. We got a pretty massive Sita attack next turn. Green, blue, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's green, green, blue. Okay, so green, green, blue, 1, 2, 3. So that's a 5-power Sita. That's a 5/5 mole. The 5/5 mole can crew the 6/5 Path Cruiser, I guess. Okay, Terrors of the Track, Endrider Catalyzer. Poke for 2. So we're losing 2 life once a turn when a creature dies now. I could plow through and go for a 4-power Sita here instead. Still pretty significant. Could also plow through and just not activate Sita. That seems pretty bad. Kind of think I have to plow through. Because if I just go full damage here, I can 4 in the sky every turn. Like, I'm just going to get outraced. They're at 18, gaining even more life soon enough. I guess I can exhaust on blocks here, right? I only really get 4 damage in. Because the mole just trades into Catalyzer even when it's buffed, and I don't have the power to crew Path Cruiser. So I only really hit them with Sita. If I just exhaust at 4 power. Just hit me in the sky. Necro Regent. And they'll have full speed next turn off the terrors, even if I kill it, because it shoots me when it gets damaged. I don't think there's a way to like crew Path Cruiser before Sita fully activates. No, there's not. kind of dead no matter what here. Because now they're getting zombies every end step. Yeah, and that's just double team as a mechanic for you, as we saw this game. It's the kind of mechanic you just have to kill the card before it attacks. If you don't, you get so far behind so fast. And we drew our removal for Terrors the turn after they got the second copy of it, so we just fell really far behind to Terrors of the Track. Simple, tragic game of Magic here. We do still have our one board wipe. That would be our one out here, because this can't like shoot me for 6 for blowing up 6 creatures. But I can never hit them again with Necro Regent popping off at this point. So we have to draw the board wipe where it's just slowly dying, whether to the flyer or if I draw removal for the flyer, then to the endless board of 2/2s from Necro Regent. Blockbuster the Path Cruiser, sure. No, they're just going to keep it on board to go for a wide kill next turn. And Flood will definitely make us super dead on board. That is 1-1 heading into game 3. All right, here we are on the draw for game number 3. We just need to draw a land period, and the hand is great, and we did draw a land period. Even better than that, we drew a plane, so I can start on turn 2 instead of having to wait for the mole to find the mana for one of the other spells. All right, here's where Lynx gets to be super gross. They need to have removal in their hand, otherwise Lynx just completely blanks their 2-drop. Blanks both of their 2-drops, you'll love to see it. Okay. Well, I can't exactly attack with the Lynx either. So at least there's that. We're both staring at each other. Plow through does fight, so my creature takes damage for me casting that. So I can't like plow through then declare an attack. And if I declare an attack without a plow through, then they can double block and I only kill one of the 2. Might be worth it if they have all the 6/3 vehicles and stuff. Okay, they just are stuck off a second color or something and don't like 2/3s. That is 2-1 heading into game number 4. Here we are for game 4. This is a weird hand because we got more green than anything else in this deck, but I mean 2 castable Lynxes, I think that's just a keep regardless of not having the green source. It's just such a solid start. Lynx has been consistently great in, I think, literally every game that we've cast it in. And it will continue to be here. We do really want to draw some lands. Could be any mana, and we'll be happy. And it is literally any mana. It's Night Market. So that's a particularly great one. Oh, it's saddle too, so I could have saddled there. Which, considering I have multiple 5-drops, I probably should have. But they are the start your engines colors, and having a 2/3 up against the 2/2 holds them off from raising their speed. So there's benefits either way. Oh. I do not think they fully read the blockbuster there, sadly. So they thought it could probably destroy a creature, I guess. Okay, at this point, I'm just going to push damage because now they're really far behind from just having to sack the blockbuster without getting a kill. So I'm not worried about their speed getting started up here. Uh-oh, maybe I should have been. Unearths things from the graveyard. If they get to max speed, they can unearth things for 0. It's pretty cool. Pretty powerful. Don't really have the mana to attack into that right now. Unswerving Sloth is big enough to plow through into it. So that we can get the rest of our board in on a future swing. It was the rare dual land. These lands are sick. Really, really good duels. Gallant Strike the Sloth. That's a bummer. No plow through for me. Nesting bot, sure. I mean, I can plow through with a broadcast rambler, but the rambler actually dies for that. Not super enjoyable, but if I don't, they can just unearth um, the thing that destroys an artifact anyway. So I'm just gonna stop their unearthing shenanigans here. That one's saddled. Let's saddle this one as well. They can kill one of these, but we dig some lands out of the deck. We've got pretty much infinite mana at this point, and we lower our odds of top decking more lands. Cool, they do kill one of them. Oh, the Blockbuster does still keep the Unearth for the rest of this game. It is perpetual. Ooh, Boom Mobile. There goes somebody. I think they can... It's one automatically, and they have two more, so they can do 3 damage off the Boom Mobile. Kill the Lynx. They could kill Refueler as well. Refueler has some potentially scary synergies coming up, so that is the choice. There's the Otark Mammoth. Love to see that. Slam the bad boy down. Saddle up. Tell we're out of planes in the deck. Boommobile's crewed like 2 at least, right? Yeah, it's crewed 2. Should have double checked before I declared the attack, but I'm riding high over here. Embalmed Ascendant, no max speed yet. Once they hit max speed, they drain us for a life off of everything dying. Yeah, I'm just going to start reading every card in the format again to be real safe. All right, I guess they do get max speed because I'm not going to chump block with Mammoth. And that also raises the nesting bot power. Hey, Sita. Saddle 5 on that thing. Sure. Saddle 5. Did I have a plane? I did have 1 planes left still, so saddle 1. Well, saddle 2. To get 1 planes. And then if they can't remove Sita, they're super, super, super dead next turn. But either way, I've got like a million life, a super wide board. They do have the removal for the Sita. So we don't get to attack for like 50 damage this turn or anything. But they only have 3 blockers up still. If they block our 3 biggest creatures, we do only deal like 5 damage. And Boommobile's a 6/6, so it eats Mammoth without even... without even trading. I mean, I feel I'm in a good position to just play the board stall here. Poke for 1 until we have a lethal attack, or we've just drawn so many cards off Vanguard that we're super safe. discard Disciple's pretty real. Another Scurryfoot would also be ridiculous. There's a Scurryfoot here. This should be lethal next turn. Currently they go block, block, block. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 1 damage off. I forgot to poke for 1. Oh wait, no, 7 is lethal, because I poked for 1 the previous turn. Okay, this is incredibly lethal. And if it goes wrong, I think I'm still in a decent spot, because I can draw another card from Vanguard and a card from Night Market. And there's no way for it to go astronomically wrong, where I lose like all these creatures. I could just lose a couple. All right. GG from opponent. That is lethal, and we move on to game number 5. We are 3-1 now. All right, here we are on the play for game number 5. This hand is ridiculous. Glory Heath links into the Veteran Beast Rider, so I can keep saddling and untapping everybody and just having a swell old time. Our opponent's on a white deck here. They've got the plains down. And it is Boros. Sundial hits the board. Not supposed to roadblock my links like that. Well, here's a 3-4 to roadblock your 3-3. We'll see how you like that. Rude. They got 3 mana up now. They're going to send in the Sundial. You got it. I am not throwing my Beast Rider in the trash can. And if we just trade blows because of my lifelink, we're going to come very far ahead. All right. Hopefully they don't know how to read. Shoot, I can't saddle and do this. All right, well. They know how to read. Vanguard plus Scurryfoot then. Untap everybody. Wee. Go for it. I'll go to 10. They're gonna have some weird, like, huge combat trick or damage spell or something here. It might even be some alchemy card I've never heard of. Cloudspire Coordinator, scry 2. Two to the bottom. Canyon Vaulter. Okay. Saddle. Links with the Vanguard. I can't really afford to have Beast Rider die at this point. Like if I attack with Beast Rider and Lynx and then nobody untaps, that's pretty bad. I guess I could block Tyrox plus Scurryfoot with... Tyrox and Sundial with Scurryfoot and the Elephant, though. So I actually could. Because the only way they kill Beast Rider is by double blocking it with both of the other 2 cards, in which case just wipe most of their board and still have all the blocks on the crackback. And they have to double block Lynx to kill that as well. They're going to go for the double block kill on Beast Rider. All right, sweet. We'll just kill basically their whole board and still have all the blocks I need up. And we kill half their board there, and then we have the blocks to kill the other half. Sure, show me double combat trick against my 1-drop spell. Scurryfoot. Insane card. I was going to say MLG, but I don't think that really classifies here. Sure. You got it. I'll go pretty low, but they're down to 1 creature and 1 vehicle now. I can grind out the long game here, especially gaining 2 a turn. I think we're good. I don't think I have any more Scurryfoots in the deck. I do. I only played 1. Okay, so I could hit a Scurryfoot here, so I should just tap out right now, just in case. We did not hit the Scurryfoot. Ooh, Spike Spitter? Oh, they're at 1 speed. Oh, that's so fine. Hello, Scurryfoot. Glory Heath Link stays winning. Alright, they have to just pass through. Do some digging with our night market here. Although I should probably drop Path Cruiser first, so I'm slightly less likely to draw another land. If I get an expensive creature, I won't be able to play it now, but still worth it. Do a little thinning here. I guess because I've got the Feaster here, I could still cast Sita if I draw her. If I tap out a blue. Alright, just a land. I guess I could actually exhaust this thing if I kept a night market instead of cycling that. Play it as a tap land for turn. It's a little interesting. Alright, opponent scoops them up. We got a stable board. We got a 6-5 to start beating down with, and they are over it. That is 4-1 heading into game number 6. Alright, here we are for game 6. We do not have the white source in the hand, but we got plenty of stuff to do here. Scurryfoot gives us something to do turn 1 and 4, so we've got the 1-drop, the 2-drop, the 4-drop, and the 6-drop in this hand. And now we drew the 3-drop. The hand is not perfect. It doesn't have removal. So if our opponent plays one of those like really scary double team must be killed threats or anything like that, we're going to have problems. But otherwise, looks pretty great. We did draw a removal spell now. Drawing into the run over. Literally just ask and you shall receive. Absolute chef's kiss perfection. We're playing against blue-red. There's a lot of cards in that archetype that like get a +1/+1 counter every time they cycle or deal a damage every time they cycle. So let's draw and discard and stuff like that. There's Dynamite Diver though and a Plains. Saddle up the Goda for mana, and I will take the trade here. Goes to our turn. We'll Path Cruiser into the white source. And pass. I don't remember any flash creatures, but I also don't know the alchemy cards, so I'm just going to protect the Scurryfoot, force them to use removal on it if they want to stop us from getting the 3/3. Surge of Acclaim, 2 mana, draw a card, sure. It has flashback too? Wait, no, it doesn't. Why is it over there? This card doesn't. Oh, it has Jumpstart. Oh, they can discard a card to recast it. Um. This is one of the most absurd alchemy cards I think I've ever read. All creature cards you own with mana value 2 or less get +1/+1. So just forever. And then you seek one and put it right onto the battlefield. And then you give them all flying. Sweet Jesus, dude. Okay. That's bad. That's very bad. Try to outrace, just start slamming with Path Cruiser right now. Have a lot of stats on this board as well. Go Amulet and run over on a future turn. If I get Feaster down now, I don't really want to do that before activating Scurryfoot, but whenever I get Feaster down, I start making Mammoth cheaper, and then Mammoth, once the Amulet is on the board, is insane. Oh, this is weird, but I feel like a Mammoth with Quick Beast Amulet on board is like such an insane swing and damage out of nowhere. It could like find a freak accident kind of kill, which could be good. Oh my god, they seeked a rare Arius Flyby Trawler. Gets a +1/+1 counter whenever they discard a card, and it has flying and trample, even better than the 1 in a blue cycling payoff. And it has a built-in way to keep discarding cards. It seeks something and discards it every turn, and then what is this? What is going on? When this enters, create 4 1/1 servos. Yeah, alright. So we draw the board wiper. We're just so insanely dead here. So all the servos gain flying too, off of the Noctimoon. This is so dumb. Whenever this attacks, draft a card from its spellbook, and that card's an artifact creature. Oh, so you just get when it attacks, draw 2 mana 4/4 flying vigilance. Or 2 mana 3/3 flying, 3 mana 3/5 flying. Jesus. You got me? I mean, this feels like a scoop here, but I don't know. I'm technically not dead. I'm just trying to set up as much mana for as explosive of a crackback as possible, but it's just not even going to be near lethal, so they can just easily kill me over 2 swings, even though they don't one-shot me. Gearseeker Serpent for 2 mana because the Skyforge is 5 creatures off 1 card. 5 artifacts off 1 card. It's the vehicle and 4 servos. Cool. Well, they did tap out of blockers here if they don't get a 2 mana creature from the Skyforge, which is something. Please don't get a 2-drop. And then I'll just see how much damage I can possibly do and hope it's 20. Spoiler alert is definitely not. No creature, no creature, no creature, no creature. No, they get the land too. No, a chump blocker. I don't have a creature big enough to run over it. At least that's crew 4, so. Ah, tap land. If this were an untapped land, I could play the mammoth and crew an amulet. Or sorry, and equip an amulet and cast a run over. But now I can only do 2 of those things. This is +1/+1. This would have turned into +8. So +9/+9 on World Wagon. I could have done like 14 damage. But obviously 14 is not 20. Well, plus a scurry foot attacking. Dang. Alright, I'm mega dead. I'm mega dead, but I actually got somewhat close to a lethal crackback, right? Which is cute. Oh, wait, because I could crew Path Cruiser as well. No, I actually think I would have had a lethal crackback if I drew an untapped land here. Oh, I did this in the wrong way, regardless. I could have crewed Path Cruiser with Mammoth and then World Wagon with these two. And then I could have run over the Jockey and had exactly enough left to equip. But I can't when it's Night Market, it's a tap land. I just needed a forest and we win, actually. Because 5 + 9, 14. And I don't have the 1-up for the removal. So yeah, I can't do it here, but here, let me stop wasting my opponent's time. Yeah, I'm 100% confident it's not the kill here, but would have been the kill with an untapped land. So here. Okay. We tap out, we play the Mammoth. Mammoth Cruise Path Cruiser. Elephant and Scurryfoot Cruise World Wagon. That's 11 damage. I use this 2 mana to equip an amulet to one of them. That is now 20 damage. That's 11 + 9, that's 20 damage. Then I would use my untapped land for the 1 mana run over to kill the blocker and kill them, because they can't crew the Skyforge. So we actually still were just an untapped mana away from winning that game. Bummer. That would have been insane. I mean, the game was already insane. That was, I mean, just mountains of bombs all over the place. But to take our opponent from 20 to 0 would have been so cool. All right, 4 and 2. Can't win them all. Heading into game number 7. All right, here we are for game number 7 with a great hand here. The turbocharged escape Path Cruiser combo is pretty absurd. And Fuel Tank Feaster just seems awesome. Makes stuff super efficient. Great Fang Chroniclers. Okay. Should have the removal to kill that here, but I could just lean into Path Cruiser. Lean into the turbocharged escape here and let them get more stuff on board. The problem with that is that if they just double team Chroniclers and play it, it's not even like I'm 2 for 1ing them, so I think I still have to just put my stuff on board. Stop them from getting a free double team attack in. Worst case scenario, they have a removal spell, in which case that doesn't even play poorly into the board wipe. Because it's like, well, then they just removal spell post board wipe still. Because I don't think they're throwing removal at the Feaster. I mean, maybe they would, just like bolt the bird kind of thing. All right. Ooh, I'm so happy they didn't attack. At least there's that. Path Cruiser, Plains, Play Disciple. Pass. It's really not looking like a board for a board wipe still, so I will play to the board here. Okay, now they will get the double team. They could have just gotten that last turn, so that's fine. I can't stop them from putting the card in their hand. All I can do is kill the one that's already out. Just not that great. No, more cards that survive a board wipe. Maybe we're just going to end up casting Turbocharged Escape, like, literally just for the perpetual crewing of one of our gigantic vehicles. If I have Feaster back, I do force them to cast a Murg onto Petroglyphs here. If they want to attack with Chroniclers, they got to make it a 4/4 with basically its exhaust ability, but technically they're putting a really cool enchantment on the board and buffing everybody. Alright, they're going to conjure the Petroglyphs. You got it. If I draw any creature, I think we can really, really outrace them here with these gigantic vehicles. Just anything big enough to crew them. Which again, honestly, does lean a little bit towards the turbocharged escape, but I still don't quite want to do it. Until they play like at least one more creature, ideally like two more. I don't want to just like turbocharged escape this board, lose two of my creatures for one of theirs, and then just have them like spin out whatever I perpetually crew anyway. Okay, there's Bauble on Disciple to stop taking damage for now. Wreckage, Wickerfolk. Alright, now they have at least two creatures, and I'd be getting an 8 damage swing in the turn that I turbocharge escape. Let's go. Alright. Sick escape turn now. We will definitely do it. Down to 11. Could have chumped 4 damage if I wanted, but keeping it makes this a little cheaper, and I get to tap this for a mana for the turbocharged escape, so just more likely to be able to do some spells after my board wipe by keeping Feaster around. Hit for 9. You know, because Path Cruiser is big enough to crew the World Wagon, maybe it would have been better to just perpetually make Path Cruiser the creature and then keep tapping and crewing World Wagon turn over turn. Because if they kill World Wagon with some kind of removal, I can't cruise Path Cruiser. But if they would have killed Path Cruiser with removal, it's a little easier to hit Crew 4 than Crew 5, so I could have seen the argument for that. Perpetually going the other way with it. I mean, Refueler alone is going to be big enough to crew World Wagon after this turn. Alright, Path Cruiser is big enough they have to block that or die. And Refueler is big enough to trade into Calaxian if they do have the removal for Path Cruiser. Oh, I guess they don't die because they have that food token left over. But still, yeah, do really need to get that trade. Alright, either of these creatures is a lethal attacker next turn. Refueler gets its 5th counter. That's 2 blockers, though. 9/4 and a 3/2 because they can crew the vehicle. There's Plow Through. Does not quite work how I want it to here. I can't plow Calaxian without losing a creature. So Calaxian is going to kill somebody here, and the 3/2 vehicle is not going to kill anybody anyway. So I think we just attack both. World Wagon for Calaxian, Refueler sticks around. Yeah, it has the ability crew 1, so it's not a 5/4 or anything. Actually trade with Refueler over Worldwagon. Fair enough, Worldwagon's a little bit easier to kill on a future turn because of the lower toughness. And they're both lethal hits anyway, so that probably is the better trade. Just kill the higher toughness card. They have another back on track here. That's pretty bad for me. Rise from the wreck? Basically. Basically. It's worse for me in the long run, but I'm more likely to somehow find lethal this turn. Cast the Chroniclers here, though. That's just a chump. I don't even think I plow through with the links or anything here. If I plow through, they just crew the vehicle and block there. Yeah, they already can't double block. And if they have a combat trick, it works whether they cast it on the vehicle or cast it on the Chroniclers. Jump with the vehicle. All right, let's kill the Chroniclers before it gets to double team or make another petroglyphs or anything. Because again, plow through, it just does not work on Calaxian. We just get a full-on trade with that 7 power. Chomping Mastosaur. Okay, so they can discard a 4-mana card and kill Worldwagon and draw a card. Oh, no. Oh, that's exactly the problem with Quick Beast Amulet that we talked about. It is so bad right now. Yeah, Mastosaur just fully wins it. They just attack, discard Calaxian, shoot links, draw a card. Anything I ever play, they just discard a card, kill it, and draw a card. Mastosaur is so strong here. And Quick Beast Amulet is a complete miss. Yeah. Well, that's these Alchemy drafts for you. They are just so swingy. Ooh, Petroglyphs is two-sided. That's kind of cute, but I'm just dead because Masticore shoots me in the face now, and the other 6/6 hits for 6. So we take 9 damage minimum just by discarding Calaxian here. Sure. Just have a plow through for 9 still. Come on. Alright. Yeah, what can you do? Mastosaur just taking names in the end. That is 4-2 heading into game 7. Oh! I forgot I already lost 2 games. That's 4-3, the end of the draft? Oh, that's so brutal then. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, Alchemy rares are just basically war crimes. We just got completely deleted by them for the final 2 games in a row. The that Jeskai deck that just slammed tons of Alchemy rares in a row, and then the Mastosaur just, as far ahead as we got early, just completely negated everything we did with just one chomping Mastosaur. Yeah, it is what it is. 4-3, I think, is a little low for this deck. This deck's also quite powerful. It's got its own Alchemy war crimes to commit with Turbocharged Escape, permanently crewing these beefy vehicles. That was a fun way to win multiple games. And the Amulet being pretty good if we drew it early. But yeah, we just got bombed out even harder by our opponents, and they were both still really close games. The losses that I remember where our opponents did just play ridiculous Alchemy rares, because our first loss against all that kind of stuff, we were just a single untapped land away from still finding the crackback with an absurdly huge Quick Beast Amulet, so that was obviously a pretty big bummer. And then the final loss, of course, we were like really far ahead for such a long time. I think if they drew almost any other card in the set outside of exactly that Mega Bomb Dinosaur, we were pretty locked in for the long game there. So, yeah, is what it is. 4-3. The deck falls a little bit flat, but still a positive record here. Still very close to the break-even points. Yeah, unfortunate. I think the deck could have done a little better. I would have liked to see it do a little better, but still a solid record, a solid payout in the end. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.